to start though?
Maybe,
okay.
maybe
Sure.
we can.
Yeah, yeah. Go
So,
ahead.
hello Andy.
Hello, good to see you.
You are the only original member of WISHBONE ASH.
Yeah, from the original band, yeah. But that's true. 43 years. This
43 years. So, you've seen a lot of musicians.
Yeah,
You've worked with a lot of people.
absolutely.
What's maybe the best souvenir you have in 43 years career?
Like musically, you mean? In
In
terms?
career.
Well, I mean, the 70s was a fantastic time for to be alive and for music. I mean, many of the roots that were laid down in music and culture, as we know it now, that was in the 70s. So I have to say the 70s was great, but I mean, I love every moment, every decade is great. Right now I'm having a great time, so I feel very fortunate to still be playing rock and roll at my age. It's amazing. I think, you know, one of the great things about being in a band is traveling. You know, I say to young musicians, if you don't like travel, then you should not be in a rock and roll band. So, you know, I really like that. I like to go to different places, you know, unusual places. Bloody Madden!
Please stand up for the break, buddy.
Of course.
Assieds-toi, ici. Merci, Muddy. Thank you. Yeah, so you know, the band has been able to take our music to many other countries. You know, like we are one of the only bands to have toured India, for example. Yeah, 3 times. Soviet Union, America, of course. Everyone tours America, but and Europe many times. You know, Turkey. And I like that. I like that about rock and roll. You know. Now I saw a show last night on TV, and about a Chinese rock star, and I think it could be great to go there. This guy was, he's like,
they're sort of opening up now.
yeah, this guy he's a real rock star. He's the main guy in China.
So what kind of music was it?
It was kind of like rock and roll, and he was on stage singing a song with Mick Jagger, Wild Horses. Chinese guy. I was like, wow, this is cool. I forget his name, of course.
So you just said you enjoyed being a member of a rock and roll band, so it means you consider WISHBONE ASH as a rock and roll band?
A rock band.
Rock band, not a hard rock band, not a...
Well, you know, we have so many aspects to our style. I mean, we are a guitar band, so if we're a guitar band, then we're a rock band. I mean, some people say we're progressive rock, but that's not true.
I think the word rock band is a good definition for a band that enables us to do different kinds of music within the format, like a bit of folk, a bit of jazz, a bit of prog rock.
Definitely blues is our roots, and you know, I mean, we're just really good at it.
So, you are one of the first bands in history to have 2 lead guitarists. It was kind of by chance, no? It was not on purpose.
It was not on purpose, no. We originally were going to have 1 guitar player and 1 keyboard player, Hammond organ, and then myself and Ted Turner came to the audition in London, and the guys couldn't decide between us, so we ended up with 2 lead guitars. I'd been in a band just before that with 2 lead guitars, and now Muddy also had been in Finland in a band with 2 lead guitar players, with those locals. So we had tried it. I had tried it a little bit, but I have to say that with WISHBONE ASH we took it to, you know, new heights really. And it's really interesting today because Thin Lizzy's playing as well.
Yeah.
And that's another twin lead guitar band. And
many people say that you are one of the main influences of Thin Lizzy.
it is said that. I mean, I know for a fact.
I have read that.
Yeah.
What do you honestly think about that?
Well, I'm touched and honoured. I've spoken with Scott Gorham about it a couple of times, and he says, yeah, it's true. You know. So we're happy about it. but we didn't have Phil Lynott in the band. I think Phil Lynott with Wishbone Ash, that would be incredible.
Perfect combination.
So I saw that your recent set lists were mixed between old sounds and recent sounds from out of your last album, Elegant Sleeves. You want to travel through, make your audience travel through time, through the history of the band.
It's a good way of putting it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't like to just go out and be some kind of tribute band to ourselves.
If you're just playing the old song, you're turning into a tribute band.
Yeah.
To make things interesting to ourselves and the audience as well, we have to write some new material, play on the gigs.
We need to be stimulated. We need to be to feel, you know, that we are current and we're producing new material. So, you know, our sets sometimes can be 2.5 hours long, and we have to cover 43 years actually.
You know what? Bruce Springsteen played in Helsinki about a week ago. He played for 5 hours.
Yeah, but he has
that was the last gig of the tour. But anyway, 5 hours.
That's actually too long.
He didn't leave the stage once.
How long are you gonna play tonight?
Actually, tonight we only have 1 hour, unfortunately, but we will make it an intense 1 hour.
Yeah, maybe a bit longer.
Yeah, we might go over. We don't know. We try not to.
Shaking his head.
After all these years with Wishbone Ash in the band, and because of your last record, for you, how is the process to write a new record? Have you thinking about it for a record?
Another one now?
Yeah.
We're thinking a little bit. We're trying to think about direction, because the last one, Elegant Stealth, we wrote all the music in France, actually.
For the last album?
Yeah, in Normandy. And this was very much a band album, and kind of progressive, a lot of guitar solos, and very naturally conceived in the countryside, almost in a kind of an old 70s kind of technique, you know, really jamming a lot. The next album, I really don't know. I mean, we've talked about blues. We both love blues, but to do a blues album would be, it has to be really
It has to be
good.
something different than just regular 12-bar blues.
Yeah. Yeah, but certainly the blues just does not go away, and it's always there as a route to our music. The thing is that we have a lot of melody in our music, so it's hard for us actually to not produce melody and get this different attitude. But we're talking about new music, and I've been doing a little bit of writing this summer. I don't know if you know. Some playing.
That's something in my head.
Yeah. We're always thinking of ideas, you know, but we don't have a clear direction at the moment. I mean, I can tell you that there probably will be 2 guitar players. I can tell you, twin lead guitar.
That's good.
Yeah.
Maybe about a word about Martin Turner's Wishbone Ash. We have to talk about that. What is it about? What can we say about that? Are you now rivals? Are you arguing about who is the real Wishbone Ash? Are you? What can you say about that?
I can't say anything about what he's doing. I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, what I can tell you is that Wishbone Ash has been a band each year, consecutively. It's never stopped being a band. So I've been in the band for 43 years, so I know Wishbone Ash. That's all I know. I mean, I can't really.
Martin Turner is not in Wishbone Ash.
He's not.
He hasn't been in the band for 20 years.
That's a fact. Yeah. So, I I think, you know.
I can feel a little bit of anger in.
Well, there are some legal issues about the what we call a name grab. You can say name grab. There are some legal issues about that. So I can't talk too much about that. But all I can tell you is that I think it's great if any ex-member of Wishbone Ash is playing. Like for example, Laurie Whitefield was playing with Tina Turner. It's fantastic. But and if Martin Turner's playing the bass guitar again and singing, I think it's fantastic. But to go out and call yourself Wishbone Ash is not correct, actually.
Thanks, Wishbone Ash.
How can you have two Wishbone Ashes? I don't get that. I mean, Martin Barr just left Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
Will he go out on the road and call himself Martin Barr's Jethro Tull? Does Richie Blackmore call himself Richie Blackmore's Deep Purple? I don't think so. It's not correct.
So you're not talking to each other, looking to each other.
Talking.
Yeah. You're not meeting anymore. You're not.
They're emailing.
Emailing, yeah. Oh,
Very friendly emailing, I guess.
Gentleman type.
yeah, like English gentlemen would. Yeah.
Okay, one question for you, Madi. You were a member of the band for 8 years.
I think it'll be 8 years this autumn.
Okay, so I guess you feel fully integrated in the band now. Is that the greatest experience of your career, playing for Wishbone Ash?
Yeah, certainly. It's what I've been hoping to do for all my life. So to be able to play in a band and work with musicians I have respect for, enjoy playing and touring the world.
Seeing life.
Seeing life. So it's been a great experience and I hope it to go on.
So you're from Finland. You know that Nightwish was here yesterday night, yesterday evening. Maybe a word about them, so because they are so popular, it's such a strong symbol of Finland. So
I don't really know their music that well, but I know that they're all very good players and they do a lot of good stuff. And I'm really happy for them for their success. I mean,
Is it the original singer, do you know?
they changed the singer.
They changed the singer?
Yeah.
yeah,
They have a
Anna
Swedish.
Alvan now.
Yeah.
Okay, is she good?
She's from Sweden and she's part of the band for 5 years now.
Same kind of operatic
No, she's not that. She's more like. I think she's more like a rock voice, but not that much. Not that opera kind of thing. That much as. I think okay. I don't know.
I think you're right.
Yeah, at least in the beginning when I saw some videos, I got the impression that she's not that much into the opera thing. Very good singer.
I mean, I got to say that up in Scandinavia and Finland, there's some incredible musicians up there. You know, I think coming from Great Britain. I mean, I live in America now, where there are also phenomenal musicians. But I think in some ways in England, we lost the plot. You know, the musicians, they don't seem as inspired. And so, from my experience, you know, I look at some of the musicians out there in Scandinavia.
Focus nowadays is pretty much like Germany. There's a lot of great voices, for instance, great blues players in Germany.
Yeah, Heinrich Frischlader.
Yeah.
I mean, Germany used to be terrible for musicians, you know, like really bad, you know. But now it's, wow, you know, respect, you know. But I don't know, I don't see so much coming out of Great Britain these days. It seems like we've gone into pop music. It seems we've forgotten that we were one of the best rock producers of rock bands. I mean, everybody, so many great bands came out of Britain.
Do you think that might be a fight from the music industry that tries
Yeah.
just to bring
Yeah.
up products for
Absolutely.
a single, a hit, make money and dump
It's-
everything and start something else, whatever
Yeah,
you can work.
there's no culture, it's all controlled by the media, and I think there's still great musicians there, but they're struggling. They can't get through, you know.
Right.
It's hard. Yeah, this whole media culture, what do you call it? These TV shows and...
But you mean there's still young blokes playing rock and roll,
Yeah.
but they just don't interest anybody in the industry or
Exactly.
in the music.
Exactly, you're correct.
Even though
Yeah.
like in bars or like underground places in London or elsewhere, they're not getting
it's
whatever.
hard.
Actually, I don't know any like new rock and roll bands from Britain. I know a blues players like Ainsley Lister, who's really good, and a younger guy who's good. Any rock and roll bands or rock bands?
No, I think there's not the mentality. I mean, I live near New York, you know, and I go into New York occasionally, and I go into Brooklyn, and I see incredible feeling on the streets and the clubs, you know, so much creativity going on, you know, and these kids have nothing, and they're fighting, you know. But I don't get that sense in Great Britain, which I did when I lived there in the 70s.
Of
Everybody was fighting, you know.
WISHBONE ASH,
Yeah.
Easy, Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I was cradle of the rock and roll with the United
Yeah.
States for sure.
Absolutely.
And this disappeared nowadays.
I think so. You know, in the early 70s, every band like WISHBONE ASH, we struggled to produce our own sound, and every band was different. You know, whether it was Yes, or Jethro Tull, or Zeppelin, or WISHBONE ASH, everybody was unique. It was all rock, but it was fascinating. I mean, and I think that those roots and those styles, they still carry on even today in the new millennium. It's still there.
But
I
in
mean,
different
like,
countries.
Yeah.
In different countries.
Like in the United States, you still have like bands like Black Keys or Jack White.
Yeah, I like
Still
it. I like
doing
their stuff.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So this disappeared from England. Do you think there's another country taking over in Europe or elsewhere in the world?
Another
Or
country.
is it just the end of it?
No, well, you know what you're talking about is white Anglo-Saxon rock mentality. I think the strong mentality is still it's still there in, as you mentioned, in America. There's Black Keys. I mean, I just listened to the new Dr. John album
Right.
with this guy playing, and this is they're reinterpreting the blues, and so there's still some desire to do this, you know, but I don't know. There are odd people in Germany, like Heinrich's an awesome player, Ainsley Lister in England, you know, but as far as the movement goes, I think it's still pretty strong in America.
Right. Do you think that maybe in Europe there's a lack of energy and anger who can bring this kind of,
Maybe
of
so.
interpretation?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. Maybe we need that, because that was a very important component in the early 70s and certainly in the 60s in the United Kingdom. There was anger. I mean,
Right.
groups like The Who and then punk movement, always, it's a great impetus for rock music, and I think everybody's just too well fed.
Yeah, as you're living in the United States, the thing is like, do you think we're getting too bourgeois in Europe? But isn't it
Yes.
the case in the States as well? And it's still going on.
In America, you still have to survive by your own instincts. I mean, there is no safety net in America. It's a very brutal society. I know, I lived there for 28 years. It's very hard. So you're right, in a way, this bourgeois mentality is making everybody with a soft belly, I think. I mean, we were talking in the bar last night with Scott Gorham and the guys from Lizzie, and I was talking with guys in my band. I mean, when I joined WISHBONE ASH, I was literally starving, and I weighed. I was so skinny, not now, but we were starving. We had to play to eat. Absolutely, you know.
So I also believe that a band like Police in U2 killed a little bit that kind of music that became too huge, too popular, and despite rock and roll a little bit.
Well, they certainly those guys, they all had paid their dues, but when they came along, it got huge. U2 is now so big. Isn't it?
Right, but
Is it good? I don't know.
it's nothing left there's no rock and roll left on YouTube. Maybe that
Well, you know,
three or four first album that after that became maybe the beginning also of the industry of this kind of music. I mean, I'm thinking about that because Iggy Pop is coming to play tomorrow. It's probably like one of the last dinosaurs as well. And after a band like U2, I mean, all these band, punk rock band disappeared.
Yeah, but you know, Iggy Pop is doing advertising in Britain on the buses for selling insurance, you know. I mean, how rock and roll is that? How rock and roll is that, you know? I mean, I read an interview in the New Yorker with a story about Bruce Springsteen, for example. And they were saying, it's incredible. He goes out there, he plays 3.5 hours, he gives everything, you know. But then he does one show and he takes 5 nights off. And he's traveling in first class, 5-star, 6-star, everywhere. Well, Wishbone Ash will do 70 shows every night. Still, at my age, we're doing this all the way through Europe, hardcore, down in the dirt, not like this. I'm talking clubs, I'm talking theatres, going to different countries. So we still have a rock and roll attitude, you know. We get on the road and we just do it, you know. And this is the real spirit of it. I mean, not to say if I could be like Bono and be in those big stages every night, it would be great.
Meanwhile, saving Africa and all that stuff. Meanwhile, saving Africa and all that stuff.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Rock and roll, you know, I don't know. So, what do you think? Are you getting this
That's
down?
a very good question.
Good questions. Thank you. Yeah, the rock and roll attitude is a very precious thing. I think the blues guys had it. You know, that's where it came from. They were, and then I think after the Second World War, certainly in Great Britain, we had it. You know, we had this anti-authority mentality. But
So,
maybe the Occupy movement. You know, we saw that in New York and London, and I don't know, was it in France too?
yeah.
You know, this is something that is exciting, you know, because now we have this kind of soft economy, you know, so enough politics.
No, my next question was still about politics. Do you consider your songs as protest songs?
Well, we certainly, in some of our lyrics, we comment on things that we see in society. For example, we had a song on the recent Elegant Stealth album. It's called Migrant Worker. How now, we're like migrant workers. We have to go to other countries to survive. We have to travel. And where I live in the States, I don't know, it must be the same with you in Finland. There's always now people coming, economically they're displaced. And certainly in Paris, you have it. So this is a big thing. So we're making social commentary a little bit, not too much.
On which album was that song?
Elegant Stealth,
Elegant.
the new one, yeah, migrant worker. So yeah, they're, you know, a little bit political, but not too much. I mean, it's just the usual themes, the rock and roll themes: love, relationships, experiences, travel, some philosophy. Hopefully, in 43 years or however many years we've been playing, you know, we've learned a little bit about life. To make some good comments, you know.
So, you said earlier you didn't consider Wishbone Ash as a hard rock band, but
We can be hard rock if we want.
it can be hard rock,
Yeah.
but you definitely were a very strong model for new hard rock
Yes,
bands.
absolutely, yeah.
Do you recognize yourself in songs
Yes.
nowadays?
Absolutely, yeah.
Which
Well, you know,
favorite?
I mean, for example, for myself, I started playing the flying V guitar, this V-shaped guitar in this 1971, 72, and no one was playing this guitar. And now I see all of the heavy metal guys using this guitars, you know. Yeah, and I see this, and I'm like, oh, that's neat, you know. It goes back to that, you know, in some ways, you know. But you know, we have some songs like "Runaway," for example. That's very hard rock, you know. But the great thing about the name, Wishbone Ash, it doesn't sound heavy, you know. So it's a very open-sounding name, and it means that we can be very light. We can go into folk if we want.
Whatever we like.
We can do whatever we want.
You can go from acoustic
Absolutely.
to
It's awesome.
heavy metal.
It's so good. for guitar players, this is the best, you know, because we get to flex our muscles and try all different things, you know.
So what's so special about having two lead guitars? Does that
Two lead guitars,
does that need
well, it gives you melody.
electricity?
It gives you discipline, because firstly you have to play little lines together like a horn section in a way, you know. And so you can punctuate the music, and you can give it dynamics, and you can also create a lot of melody. The two lead guitar players, you can make chords together, and you can also play lead lines just like a horn section. So this gives a very distinctive sound. Melody is the key.
It makes the melody richer.
Richer, absolutely richer.
La dernière question.
Can I have the last question?
Monsieur. Oh,
Hello,
yeah, my man.
Have you
Brazil,
drink,
right?
have you drink my bottle?
I haven't drunk it yet. This guy gave me a nice present of some serious liquor, but I will try it later. Thank you.
So I just one question.
Yeah.
I met you so many times in the 80s. So I just wish you are welcome in this beautiful town in Colmar, in this beautiful hall, with this beautiful organization.
Yes.
And so I wish you a very good concert.
Thank you very much indeed.
I know everything about your life because I met you so many times, but you are still young as me.
Rock and roll keeps you young.
Yeah.
Right.
Have a
Okay.
good concert.
Hope it goes on.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.